This is News 4 San Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
Well, it's what we do. Good morning. Nonstop news starts right now. We're the only station in town. She knows this. Only station in town commercial free for the next 15 minutes.
We have you covered this morning, including a look at traffic with Joy. But first, a look at your weather with Siobhan. Good morning, Siobhan.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we are at our Monday already, so the weekend is over. We did get some rain. There was some really big hail that did roll across the hill country last night. Everything has cleared. It's all out of the picture. We don't have to worry about any kind of activity like that this morning. However, we are going to see a very warm day shaping up, starting out with a little bit of a cool trend up in the hill country, a little warmer down to the southwest. Right now, San Antonio is sitting at 59 degrees. We're going up, though, to above normal temperatures. We're heading up to the upper 80s today. So sunshine, 88 degrees by 5 o'clock. So it's going to be a beautiful day to be outside, just a little on the warm side. Tomorrow's going to be even warmer, but we're all talking about, of course, our next weather maker, which is going to bring us in some pretty good chances for rain starting on Wednesday. Just a few minutes. I'm coming back, and I'll tell you exactly what you can expect.
Okay, so across most of San Antonio, we've had an easy morning, unless you're trying to get through the downtown area. That is where we have seen some delays, both in the eastbound lanes of I-10 and the northbound lanes of I-35. For the latest on all of that, we turn over to our good friend David Mendoza. He's in your South Texas Ford dealer, Sky 4. He's been watching this since the beginning. David, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, it's Monday morning. We're kind of easing into the week here. It's very fortunate. We do have this accident here on 35 and Quincy. This is just near the Y. We have 2 lanes closed right now, but good news is that we do have that motorcycle loaded up onto the wrecker, getting ready to leave the scene. EMS was initially turned away from the scene, so it wasn't that serious of an accident, but it did involve a motorcycle. So that is causing some delays right now on 10 and 35 as we look in both directions. This is really the biggest delay of the morning. I'm going to be up here throughout the morning giving you the latest. Back to you.
David, we appreciate it. He'll be the first to let us know once we get those lanes back open. In the meantime, northbound on I-35, that delay is sitting at about 5 to 10 minutes. And then don't forget, we're also going to be feeling it in the southbound or eastbound lanes of I-10 heading into the Y there. That's the latest for now with your on-time traffic.
All right, guys, thanks. Happening today, the San Antonio Independent School District School Board will be updating residents on what is happening with their empty school buildings that they have there in the district. So the district is repurposing 15 buildings after they closed those schools last year. School board recently surveyed the community, trying to find out some ideas on what they'd like to see done. We'll find out more. An update will happen tonight at that school board meeting at 5:30 at the SAISD meeting room.
Well, a new apartment complex is having a grand opening today to continue the city's efforts to create more affordable housing for residents.
Yeah, News 4's Tawny Davis live with this story this morning. She's got details on just how many families are going to get to actually live in this complex. Tawny, good morning.
Good morning. Now, this apartment complex comes from a partnership between the City of San Antonio and NRP Group to create the Nova Lofts, which is off of Austin Highway. This development is the second NRP property to receive funding from the 2022 Affordable Housing Bond Program. It is also the fastest people have been able to lease the apartments, filling up the units in just 3 weeks. The complex has about 65 units total and is available to residents earning 30 to 60% of the area median income. So there are about 1 to 3 bedroom floor plans with the washer and dryer connections, along with private balconies. A 50-foot mural curated by local artists is also on display to embrace artistic storytelling that is not usually seen in affordable housing developments. Now, the grand opening of this complex is later this morning at 10 a.m. and it will be at the complex, which is off of Rainbow Road. Reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
All right, Tawny, thanks. We're working to get you more details this morning about an officer-involved shooting where a police officer shot and killed a man during a domestic violence call. So this was yesterday about 2 p.m. in the afternoon at a home on Tahoka Boulevard in Julia. Officers showed up. A man was allegedly attacking his girlfriend. The chief says that one of his officers ended up shooting the suspect because he grabbed a machete. That suspect died at the hospital. The chief says the police have been called out to the home before because the suspect had a history of violence. The officer in question here fired his gun. Has now been placed on administrative duty for now.
Well, a doctor who worked at several South Texas hospitals has been arrested in Belize. He was wanted in Bexar County for possession of child pornography. Now, the manhunt for Dr. Gregory Roth began when he failed to show up for court last December. Dr. Roth was arrested in 2022 when he was working as the medical director for LaSalle County. Instead of showing up for court, U.S. Marshals say he left the country. They say he traveled through Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. Investigators worked with authorities in Mexico to track him down and arrested him Friday. He'll be extradited to the U.S. to face possession and evading arrest charges.
Well, ICE agents have finally caught up and caught undocumented migrant who was at the center of a manhunt last week. Agents say they tried serving a warrant for his arrest Friday. He ran off. He is from El Salvador. He was first deported back in 2014, then came back to the country at some point. His name is Jose Bonilla Rivas. He turned himself in Saturday.
This morning, the IRS is getting closer to finalizing an information sharing agreement with the Department of Homeland Security. A person familiar with the matter says it would enable ICE to submit names and addresses of people who might be in the U.S. illegally. The source says the IRS could then cross-reference and confirm that information. The president's supporters say his immigration policies are what voters want. Critics say involving the IRS could endanger taxpayer privacy. The agency works under laws that usually prohibit the release of personal information.
Well, 6:47 now on this Monday morning. This morning, we are taking a closer look at what happens now that the president has filed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education.
70% of 8th graders are not proficient in either reading or in math. 70%.
President wants to give oversight back to the states, saying the country spends most of the money per student, and yet children are failing tests and lack fundamental skills. Local Congressman Joaquin Castro says it's a bad move by Mr. Trump because without the Department of Education, he wonders who will keep the states accountable. Many parents with special needs students agree with him.
I'm concerned not so much about the funding because I know Congress allots that funding. It's more of the disbursement and the accountability if it is going to be dispersed evenly to our students, given that it's trying, or the goal is ultimately is to be given that authority to the states.
Mr. Castro wonders what will happen to Texas students. He believes they could be more vulnerable because of the battle ongoing in our state over school choice.
Across Texas, a family in Houston is mourning the loss of their teenage daughter after she was shot and killed at their apartment complex playground. It happened on Friday after the girl had gotten home from school. According to local police, she had an altercation with a classmate on the bus. He allegedly threatened to kill her when they got off. Police say he later came to the playground where she was and started shooting. Her family now has a message for that boy.
Give the little boy. I am very disappointed in his parents because your parents' skills is not right at all. But as for the little boy, I forgive him.
Family and friends of the victim came together to release purple balloons in the air to honor her memory.
Well, a bill giving parents more control over books at school libraries now closer to becoming a law. The Senate here in Texas passing that measure last week. It's now headed to the state house. It's called SB 13. It allows parents to challenge and then potentially remove books in school libraries they find inappropriate. Bill obviously takes power away from the librarians and it gives them to the parents and ultimately to the school boards that those parents elect. Critics say it opens the door to unnecessary censorship.
If you're as a parent say, yeah, go ahead, learn about violence, then I guess at school, I mean, at home they can learn about it, but in school, you're there for a learning experience.
The bill passed with a 23-8 vote. It's now headed to the House.
The future of THC in Texas is still up in the air. The Senate voted to pass a bill to ban the products. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says he wants the products out of the hands of kids.
Recently, I visited several of these smoke shops to see what they're selling. All said they weren't selling to kids.
Now, before it can become law, the Senate bill will have to reconcile with the House's proposal to create regulations for the thousands of Texas businesses selling these products, as opposed to an outright ban.
House Bill 28, which hasn't even yet been taken up by the House, there's no reconciling it. Should it pass, SB 3 with a total prohibition seemingly can't be reconciled with a comprehensive regulatory regime. And that may lead to just legislative failure on both sides of it. We may get absolutely no change, as happens unfortunately too often in Texas politics.
We, of course, will let you know what happens next for that bill.
Now your certified most accurate four-zone weather with meteorologist Siobhan Anders.
I've gotten the vibe this morning that you did some planting recently. So you are one who has enjoyed even a little bit of heavy rain.
Anything, because you water, and they just look really sad.
Sad.
Just really dry. And I'm thinking it's not even summer. We're in so much trouble. We have rain. So if you're going to plant anything, do it today and tomorrow, because it would be really nice to have that natural rainfall for those plants.
Gardener Siobhan.
You'll be at my house at what time?
Oh man, I got something to do
I
that
thought
time.
you did. You're going to Dairy Queen, aren't you?
Yeah, I might be going to Dairy Queen for sure.
If you go, you pick me one up. All right, clouds and radar outside. We have a storm system that rolled through. It was a frontal boundary, rolled in last night and brought in some hail. Really some big hail, especially up to the hill country. Kerrville got pounded with over an inch hail, if not almost 2-inch hail in diameter. At San Antonio, we saw hail as well, heavy rain, but it was a very fast moving system. So it rolled in and rolled out very quickly. It has now exited the state of Texas. It is no longer even in our area, and it is moving off to the east. So frontal boundary is going to continue its track down out into the Gulf. We are looking at some cooler temperatures in the northern portions of the state, but here we're sitting at about 59 degrees outside, some 60s and 70s still showing up on our map. Definitely might need a light jacket if you're going to be out running around this morning, but you're not going to need it for very long. As soon as that sun comes up, we're going to warm up. We're heading up to the upper 80s, well above normal temperatures for at least the next 3 days. Tomorrow is going to get even warmer. Hard to believe. 92 for your Tuesday. That's San Antonio, so you can imagine down to the southwest, probably 95-ish. 86 on Wednesday. Then we finally see a cool down with the rain rolling in, cloud cover. Temperature drops back to about normal for Thursday, Friday, and we warm back up by the weekend. So next weather maker, that's what we're all talking about. It's going to be beautiful weather today, tomorrow, but by Wednesday, cloud cover starts rolling in. Then we bring in the big chances for some rain showers and thunderstorms. It's actually good chances. We are very happy with these chances. We need them desperately. And of course, by Thursday, we're going to have widespread rain all across South Texas and on Texas coastal bend. The severe weather and heavy thunderstorms start shifting as we get into Friday, and on into Friday evening, we start clearing out a little bit. So if you have any weekend plans, they're looking pretty good right now. But if you have weekday plans, Wednesday, Thursday, part of Friday, you might want to maybe rethink those. So it is good chances. We're looking at some of the best rain chances we've seen since January. January was the last time that we saw almost an inch of rain. So you can see it's been several months, and we're hoping possibility with this forecast model, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches across portions of South Texas. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Wash all your cars, make sure you're doing the rain dances. We need it all. We're going to take it. Drought, definitely need this across most of South Texas, and especially here in San Antonio. So we are looking at today, a warm day, beautiful, sunny, mostly sunny, 88 degrees. We are going to see mostly mid-80s to the upper 80s across the area. Tonight, a little bit of a chill in the air in the hill country, but for the rest of us, we're going to stay in the lower 60s. The extended forecast, like I said, if you have to plant some plants, spring planting today, tomorrow, because by Wednesday, we get our 40% chance of rain in the afternoon, evening. Then it really pops up to 80% throughout the day, Thursday and Thursday night, and 60% through probably most of the morning and mid-morning for our area. Then it clears out and we head back up to 86 degrees and partly cloudy skies for Saturday and Sunday. So I'm thrilled. Hopefully you guys are too. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that everybody sees some really welcome needed rain. So enjoy your Monday. Hopefully be safe.
All right, we've been waiting on that update from David Mendoza. He's in your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4, waiting for the northbound lanes of I-35 to reopen here in the downtown area near Main Street near Quincy. Let's check in, David.
Hey, good news, everybody. The lanes have reopened, so that accident is fully cleared. This was the most significant delay that we've been tracking all morning, but it's gone now. We should see some alleviation to the traffic in the area. This is the Y we're looking at right here. You can tell in the northbound lanes of 35, we're moving a little smoother than we were just moments ago. So that's the latest. Back to you.
Already looking a little bit better, David. Thank you. Here's the latest update on those delays. Still not completely thinned out, but this will start to go down now that those lanes are open. Northbound on I-35 and then eastbound, southbound on I-10, both seeing about a 5 to 10 minute delay because of that earlier crash that again has now cleared. Everywhere else, it's been pretty much smooth sailing this morning. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
All right, Joy, thanks. About five minutes before 7 a.m., time for your final morning headlines look. 2 men arrested downtown San Antonio last night after they attacked each other.
This happened at Travis Park around 2 this morning. Police say 2 men were arguing, which eventually led to one man cutting the other. Other people standing by held down one of the men until police arrived. One was arrested for assault and the other for public intoxication. The man that was cut was treated on scene.
Vigils held over the weekend for the victims of a mass shooting that happened in New Mexico last week. A 20-year-old man, 3 teenagers all arrested in connection to a shooting that happened Friday night. 3 people died, 15 others were hurt. Saturday, Las Cruces officials said that 7 people injured had been treated and were released from the hospital.
Russia and Ukraine are set to start indirect talks in Saudi Arabia today about a ceasefire for the war. A U.S. delegation will be there to help mediate. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff says there's been major progress in the past week. Both sides agreed to a pause on energy infrastructure attacks. These talks are also supposed to focus on a pause on civilian infrastructure attacks.
And the Second Lady, Usha Vance, is planning to visit Greenland this week. Her office says that Mrs. Vance and one of her children will leave Thursday. This trip comes after President Trump has said several times over the last several weeks that America should take control over the Denmark territory.
And we have a winner, and congratulations to James Sussums. He's today's winner of our Fiesta Medals giveaway. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another chance to win.
Yeah, congratulations, James. As we say every day, it always works on a Monday. Today's a gift. Make it count.